Hello, Namaskar. Welcome to this e-learning platform of Udaan I.ए.एस. Administrative Academy. Myself, Adarsh Kumar, and today we are going to discuss a very significant part of history, that is Revolt 1857. But before we start, we have an important information for those who are preparing for the Mandi Inspector examination, which will be held on 29th of April. So we have offline and online batches for Monday exam. For offline batch, the timing is 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. For more details, you can contact us. The numbers are given below. For those who are looking for online courses, they can download the application of Udaan I.ए.एस. Academy from the Play Store. The courses are available there too. So for more details, you can contact us. The numbers are given here. Further, one more important information for you, those are preparing for CGPSC Pre, the foundation batch, the new foundation batch will start on 5th of April for comprehensive study. You can join us, and for more details, again, the contact numbers are given below. You can contact us for more details. Okay, so let's start today's topic, that is Revolt 1857. So these are the key points which we have to discuss today. First one is introduction. Second is causes of revolt. Further, we'll see the leaders, the opinion, and lastly, we'll see the causes of failure. So let's begin with the introduction of Revolt 1857. This revolt was actually the response from Indian to the British company. Actually, from the Battle of Plassey, that is 1757 to 1857, during these 100 years, the exploitation of Indians by the British company was reached to the peak. And this exploitation rises the dissatisfaction of the Indian people, which further turned into the Revolt 1857. So ultimately, the exploitation of Indian was the major cause of this revolt. Though this revolt began in army cantonment of the Meerut on 10th of May 1857, soon spread on other parts of the India. The revolt of 1857 was a result of the exploitative nature of the colonial rule. Actually, this colonial rule is pro-imperialistic rule to expand the empire of British company. It was the reaction against the unjust expansion of policies adopted by the East India Company. Yes, it is. Further, we say that the suppression of this revolt actually was the reconquest of the India. This reconquest means re-win. What it means is trade and commerce was already captured by the British company, and further they are acting as the ruling authority, means administration of the India was dominated by the British company. This is the meaning of this reconquest of India. The revolt was so violent and in nature, and it took almost 1 year to suppress it. So it was a violent kind of revolt, and it took long period to suppress it. Now, in one look, if we talk about the revolt of 1857, so we can see there are two major causes which are really responsible to enhance the revolt of 1857. The first one is ideological differences. Ideological differences means social ideology, economical ideology of Indian and British company was very different. Similarly, the policies executed by the British government was not matching to the Indian expectations. Means, obviously, the policies will adversely affect the Indians' thoughts, which in turn converted into the revolt of 1857. So these two causes, means ideological differences and British policies, these two causes enhanced the uprising of revolt of 1857. Now we have several causes of this happening, that is called revolt 1857. First one is political cause. We will see one by one. Second, social cause. Then similarly religious, economy, military, and very important, that is immediate cause of this revolt 1857. So first, start with the political causes. And first political cause which enhanced this revolt was doctrine of lapse, which was introduced by Lord Dalhousie. His time period as Governor General in India was 1848 to 1856. So what this doctrine of lapse says, according to this rule, the princely estates will lose their status on two bases. First one, if the ruler is manifestly incompetent. And the second base, if the ruler died without having a natural born nominee. A natural born nominee, or you can say, or you can use a word here, means if the ruler is died without having a natural born heir, then that princely estate will be merged to the British company. What it means? It means the adopted son of the ruler will not be proclaimed as the ruler, new ruler of that empire. That is the meaning. So on the basis of this doctrine, these areas were merged into the British company. First, Satara on 1848, Jaipur on 1849, Sambalpur on 1850, Udaipur on 1852, Jhansi in 1853, Nagpur in 1854. And the second cause, which was political cause actually, was annexation of Awadh. At that time, the ruler's name was Nawab Wajid Ali Shah. Here, Awadh was annexed on the basis of misgovernance in 1856. So, this will not be accepted by the people of Awadh. So, this is also a very important reason to enhance the revolt. Third political cause, we see the refusal to continue the pension of Nana Sahib. Nana Sahib was the adopted son of Bazirao II. So the last political cause is descendants of Bahadur Shah won't be allowed to live in Red Fort. So these four causes are the political causes for the revolt 1857. Now we see the social cause of this revolt 1857. The first one, story begins with the English education. Actually, in 1813, the Charter Act was passed by the British government. This Charter Act says, or this Charter Act recommended the budget for the education, or you can say English education. And after many years, means 1854, when the Wood Dispatch came, it was recommended in this Wood Dispatch, it was recommended that the higher education should prefer the language English. So these things happened for the English education promotion. Further, the second social cause is the practice of sati system, banned on 1828. One famous Indian name always comes with this practice sati system. The name is Raja Ram Mohan Roy. With his strong efforts, this sati system was banned on 1828. Now, further social cause we see the Widow Remarriage Act in 1856. Now, we'll see the religious causes. The first religious cause was Religious Disability Act, which was passed on 1850. Date is very important for this. So what this act says, according to this act, to inherit the property of father, an Indian should give up his religious faith and must accept the Christianism. So this was not acceptable for the Indian people. So this Religious Disability Act was one of the major cause which enhanced the revolt 1857. The uprising of revolt is due to this Religious Disability Act. Okay, further we'll see the religious cause. Second was General Enlistment Act of 1856. General Enlistment Act 1856 says that the soldier, Indian soldier who is working under the British company may be sent to overseas. But that time it is believed by the Hindu that crossing the sea will destroy his religion or they can lose their caste status. So this belief was really very strong, and the General Enlistment Act of 1856 was not acceptable by the Indian people, Indian soldiers. Now we will see the economic causes of the revolt. See, actually the major aim of British company is to exploit the Indian. So economic cause is just because of exploitation of the Indian poor people. First one is land revenue system. Land revenue system means high taxation system, actually, like Jamidari system, like Mahalwari system, like Rayatwari system. These three land revenue systems gives rise to the dissatisfaction of Indian people. In Jamidari land revenue system, the taxation system was in such a way that they have to pay 10 part of their revenue out of 11, which was really very high. Similarly, in Mahalwari system, the taxation system was about 33 to 50% of their total revenue. And further, if we will talk about the Rayatwari system, the taxation was about than 60% of their total revenue. So this high taxation system was really responsible for the dissatisfaction, which in turned into the revolt of 1857. Further, if we see deindustrialization, this deindustrialization is called with respect to Indian industry, Indian small industry. Due to introduction of new machineries in British companies, the small industries of Indian were vanished. Due to this, the Indian poor people were really very dissatisfied, which further turned into the revolt. High taxation system, already I have told you, these three causes, economic causes, are responsible to uprising of Revolt 1857. So the next cause is military, belongs to military. In 1854, one of the act called Post Office Service Act introduced by the British company. Actually, before 1854, the soldiers are provided the free of cost post services, which was suddenly stopped in 1854. So soldiers are really very disappointed with this act. And last, we'll see the immediate cause of this revolt. That is the introduction of Enfield rifle in place of base rifle. Actually, this base rifle means brown base rifle. So new rifle, Enfield rifle, is having its special characteristic. What was that? The cartridge of this Enfield rifle was made up of fat of cows and pigs. Means this cartridge of Enfield rifle was wrapped into the fat of cow and pig. So the Indian soldiers, means Hindu soldiers and Muslim soldiers, are reluctant to use of this Enfield rifle because at the time of loading into the gun, this cartridge had to be beaten off. So they refused, soldiers refused to use of this Enfield rifle. This was the immediate cause. This was the immediate cause which sparked the collective uprising of the revolt. So these are the consequences. Actually, what happened in Barakpur, Bengal, 34th Native Infantry, the soldiers denied to use of this Enfield rifle because the cartridge was wrapped into the fat of cow and pig. So Hindu and Muslim, both soldiers denied this. They are really reluctant to use of this Enfield rifle. Their leader, named as Mangal Pandey, we know very well. He became violent and killed two of the British officers. First one was Udaan and second one was Bob. These two British officers were killed by the Mangal Pandey. Obviously, Mangal Pandey was arrested, convicted, and lastly hanged till death on 8th of April 1857. This incident suddenly sparked the collective uprising of Revolt 1857. After this incident, a chief commander, Bakht Khan, who was posted in Meerut, he started march to the Delhi with his contingent of troops of Bareilly and Meerut. He started march on 10th of May. They reached to Delhi on 11th of May, and next day, means May 12th, they declared Bahadur Shah Zafar as the leader of Revolt 1857. So some important points which we have to remember for the examination. During the revolt period, the name of Queen of Britain, you have to remember Victoria. Similarly, at that time, Prime Minister of England, name is Palmerston. This is very important question. Third important question, Governor General of India. At that time, means when the revolt 1857 was conducted, the Governor General name is Lord Canning. Chief Commander of Company name is George Anson. Mughal Emperor, at that time, Mughal Emperor named as Bahadur Shah II. symbol of the revolt, or you can say sign of the revolt, that is lotus and braid. So these 6 important points which are really very significant in context when we see the 1857 revolt, right? So further, now various authors have given their own opinion about this revolt 1857. So nature of revolt of 1857, a community say this revolt was sepoy mutiny, just sepoy mutiny. Name first who say this is Sayyid Ahmad Khan. Second, Munshi Jeevan Lal, Durgadas Bandopadhyay, Stanley, John Lawrence, John Shelley, and Malleson. These people say the revolt of 1857 was just sepoy mutiny. Further, if we see National War of Independence, who named the revolt as National War of Independence? So first name comes Benjamin Disraeli, Karl Marx, V.D. Savarkar, this name you have to remember always, K.M. Panikkar, Ishwar Prasad, A.L. Srivastava, and lastly Tarachand. So these people say the revolt of 1857 was National War of Independence. These names are very important. Some other important views are given here, just see here. Racial struggle. This revolt was a racial struggle according to Medley. Now, religious struggle, don't be confused with these two. First one was racial struggle, second was religious struggle. So, who say this revolt was religious struggle? Name is Christian Rees. The name is Rees. You just remember. What is the meaning of this religious struggle? Rees say that this revolt was not actually revolt. This was the struggle between the two community. Hindu Muslim are together struggling against Christian community. Okay, who say this? Rees. Now, civilization barbarian conflict. T.R. Holmes, he say that this revolt was actually conflict between civilized and barbarian. So civilian means English people and barbarism belongs to Indian. Who say? T.R. Holmes. Now, one more important thought, that is Outram and Taylor, they say Hindu-Muslim conspiracy against Christian. Hindu-Muslim conspiracy against Christian. So, the one very important statement of R.C. Majumdar, many times asked. What he said? He said, this revolt was neither first nor national nor war of independence. Who said this? R.C. Majumdar. Essensen said that this revolt was begun as fight for religion and ended as the war of independence. Who say this? Essensen. Now, lastly, some Marxists say this soldier-peasant struggle against for imperialism and indigenous landlordism. So these are the important thoughts. R.C. Majumdar, a statement of R.C. Majumdar is really very important. Similarly, Essensen, who said this revolt begins as fight for the religion and added as the war of independence. These two statements are really very important for exams, right? Further, we see some of the books written on revolt 1857. See here, Veer Savarkar. The book's name is The Indian War of Independence 1857. R.C. Majumdar, he has written a book named as The Sepoy Mutiny and the Revolt of 1857. S.N. Sen, the full name is Surendranath Sen. The book's name is 1857. Some other very important books are listed here. Just see once. Great Rebellion. The author is Ashok Mehta. First War of Independence. We have seen right now. V.D. Savarkar. 1857. Author is S.N. Sen. Sepoy Mutiny and Revolt of 1857 was written by R.C. Majumdar, whereas the history of Indian Mutiny was written by Charles Ball. The Last Mughal, important book. The Last Mughal, which was written by William Dalrymple. The Cause of Indian Revolt, that was written by Sir Syed Ahmad Khan. One important book, that is Tatya Tope's Operation Red Lotus, which was written by Parag Tope. You have to remember these books. Now, we will see how this revolt was conducted. Who were the leaders and their areas? Okay, so we'll see one by one. But before we go through the names, we just look once in the map. Here it is the area which belongs to Revolt 1857. You can see here the South India was really untouched with this Revolt 1857. So mostly the revolt was happened in north of the India. So he is a person who is responsible to uprising the revolt of 1857. He killed two British officers, as we seen previously, named as Eugen and Barr. Okay, so these are the leaders who played a very important, significant role to execute the mission of Revolt 1857. Ahmadullah Khan. He was the leader from Faizabad. Bakht Khan. He was leading in Delhi. Begum Hazrat Mahal. He was leader in Lucknow. Khan Bahadur Khan in Bareilly. Kunwar Singh in Bihar, Patna, Ara. Liaquat Ali in Allahabad. Jhansi was led by Rani Lakshmi Bai. Tatya Tope in Kanpur. Sometimes we see the place name as Bithur. Okay. So these are some of the leaders. We just see in list also. Centers, leaders, date of revolt and British commander. So from exam point of view, you just remember centers, British commanders and the leader. These points are very important. So in first, Delhi, who was the leader, General Bakht Khan, who suppressed this revolt in Delhi. So name is Nicholson and Hudson. In Lucknow, sometimes called Awadh, the leader was Hazrat Mahal. First name which comes in Lucknow is Begum Hazrat Mahal. And who was the suppressor? Colin Campbell and Henry Lawrence. In Jhansi, Lakshmi Bai, we know very well. And the person who suppressed this revolt in Jhansi, he rose. In Kanpur, the leader was Tatya Tope, Nana Sahib. Especially Nana Sahib and Tatya Tope, you have to remember. And further, if we see the British commander who played role to suppress this revolt, the name is Havelock and Campbell. Havelock and Campbell. Now, in Allahabad, the leader was Liaquat Ali. James Neil, who played a vital role, a very significant role to suppress the revolt in Allahabad. Faizabad, as we see, Ahmadullah, Maulvi Ahmadullah. Again, James Neil was the person as British commander Jagdishpur, Ara. Who was the leader? Babu Kumar Singh, William Taylor and Iyer. In Bareilly, leader's name is Bahadur Khan. Khan Bahadur Khan. Iyer was the British commander. So this is very important from examination point of view. Now we have a list of the people who helped the British company when the revolt of 1857 was happening. Sindhyas of Gwalior, Nizam of Hyderabad, Sikh of Punjabs, Ranas of Nepal, rulers of Patiala and Jind, Raja Bhoj, Jodhpur along with their Rajputs, Holkar of Indore, Nawab of Bhopal, Maharaja of Kashmir. These people who helped the British government or British company in 1857. So, as this revolt was suppressed by the British company, we say this revolt was failed, because if this suppression was not happened, we might have got the independence at that time only in 1857. But it is not happened in such a manner and suppressed by the British government. So causes of failure of revolt: lack of goods and effective leadership. First. Second, mutiny was not centralized. This was the major cause. Lack of resources. Revolt was poorly organized. Means actually the date of starting of that revolt was decided as 31st of May. But dissatisfaction was raised to the peak, and this mission started before the decided period, means on 10th of May, earlier than the decided time. So that is also one of the reason of failure of the revolt. Rebels has no common ideas. Means the people are having their own ideology to fight with the British government. This was also one of the major cause which made this revolt failed. Result of 1857 revolt: British Viceroy, means Governor General, office of Governor General was replaced by the Viceroy. Suppression of revolt: as we see, the revolt was suppressed, means the revolt was failed. So suppression of revolt was one of the result. Formal end of Mughal Empire, end of the company rule in India. These are the results. Transfer of the rule to the British Crown, means the administrative authority is now transferred from British company to the British Crown. So this is all about the revolt of 1857. Hope you enjoyed the session. Thank you so much.